The old house, it was in such bad shape. And that kind of scared me because I didn't know what else to do because it's the only place I've got that I can call home. It's no insulation, so the house is very cold in the winter. The roof leaks a little. The floors and the doorways are not really stable. I have to run a lot of drop cords because there's no plug-ins or nothing, so it's kind of rough.
One of the best parts about working at AHIP is it's so concrete. It's you come out on the other side with a very tangible product. So if somebody has a leaking roof and you fix the roof and it doesn't leak anymore. Somebody needs a new house and we build them a new house and they have a new house to live in. This is one of those stories that's particularly affecting because Penny is such a delightful person and she works so very hard.
I work at Brown's Cleaners, and Mr. Cook came in because he does his laundry over in the laundromat. And he came in one day with a AHIP shirt on. And I just thought, well, I've heard stories about, how they help people and, they do things. So I figured I'd ask him.
So I gave her my director's name and then who to contact with and how the program works and all that.
I got all the basic information from her and found out that she did qualify for our services. I was able to get one of our rehab specialists to go out and look at her house. And hopefully that we could at least do something, even on a smaller scale, to help their situation.
My name's Lee Miller. I'm a rehab specialist at AHIP. I'm out here at this home today to check out our client's house. Some of her main issues here was the quality of her water. She didn't actually drink it, and a lot of times the water wasn't even available. The well would go dry. It does not meet the health department requirements for the safety of water. Looking at some other problems with the house, we have an old metal roof that's just completely worn out and rusted and leaks in places. Also, we have several chimneys. One of them that is used for a wood stove. They have no flue liners. They're very dangerous. Windows, which are really just storm windows, so that lets all kinds of cold air into the home. You notice this old wooden door. It's not much to hold the cold air out. The foundation has many problems. And up here in the front, which a lot of loose rock and etc. there. It's only a 100 amp service here, which is about the smallest service you can have for a house.
He came back from the inspection and said, it's really too far gone. The house is very old, probably over 100 years old. Most all of the systems in that house are compromised, and she needs a new house.
So a lot of the houses that we rebuild are IPR, indoor plumbing and rehabilitation projects, and that means that they have no indoor plumbing or they have a problem with waste delivery systems or plumbing that has failed inside. So in Penny's case, she called us because the house was very old and a lot of the systems had completely broken down and it was just in really rough shape. And when we went out to inspect the property, we found that there was actually no septic system.
Because of that, she qualified for the state's indoor plumbing program, which would allow us to build her a new house, which for Penny wasn't necessarily her favorite option because she has a lot of family ties in that house. She was raised there. It was owned by her grandmother. So she has a lot of emotional investment in her old house. She really wanted us to be able to save it. It was impossible. It was impossible to save that house.
It's just a place where I grew up, and where I raised my daughter. So it's kind of sad, but I know, in my heart that now she'll have a better home. It'll be a lot warmer and, it'll be a lot better place for her. So I kept calling Miss Andrews and asking her, when are you going to hear anything? And she's like, well, I'll let you know. And then she would hang up and I'd start crying again because I was like, oh God, this is never going to happen.
This should be a slam dunk. We should be able to do this job and have it go through in our sleep. But it has posed every obstacle. We have crossed and jumped every obstacle that I have known in 26 years. Getting the loan approved, we couldn't close. We didn't get to close on her loan until May.
The continuing resolution that kept happening in the federal budget held up our USDA funding.
As soon as we closed, we had everything in place, we wanted to drill the well. At a secondary location. So about 3 weeks later, the well driller drilled in a second location and got water. But it was pins and needles. Reshuffling of locations, working with the health department to get a secondary location. So about 3 weeks later, the well driller drilled in a second location and got water. But it was pins and needles.
We'd had standstill for a while. Then it made you feel like, oh God, you know, this is not gonna happen. It would just bring your hopes right on down.
It kept delaying and delaying and delaying. And Penny, I think, felt like, and I, too, felt like things were slipping away. Emotionally, I probably bonded with her a little more than I do most people, just because it was such a challenge to get this project to move forward. That was the one time where I kind of let my guard down and thought, what now? What are we going to do now? From that point, we've just been, like a sprint to the finish.
In Penny's situation, it took a very long time because the funding kept getting hung up and we kept encountering all these delays. But I'm glad we stuck through it because the house is finally getting built now.
In order to bridge the funding gap and do a new house, we need to plug volunteer labor in to cut the costs and make this type of job more manageable for AHIP.
The staff that have explained all this to us, they're phenomenal, and they're really good at being able to explain the intricate details, and they're just so kind and willing to help. Whenever we have a question, all we have to do is go find Jenny.
These are the Jefferson Scholars from UVA, and they go back to school and they talk a little bit about AHIP and then help, in a sense, recruit volunteers.
It's just a really good experience. It's great for team building activities, as well as just like you can look, you have a tangible effect, and you know you're making a difference in the community.
As of today, we're kind of in the home stretch. The crew is up there putting in the trim, and they are, all the sheetrock is up, it's painted. We've had volunteers here to install the flooring and do the finish painting. Kitchen cabinets are in. By Friday, the new house will be energized and this house will be cut off. And then on Monday, this house will be torn down.
It's just kind of hard to let go of the old place because it carries so many memories. In a house with 13 kids, it's a lot, but I know that I'm doing the right thing. At first it was really scary. I didn't think it was ever going to happen, but it did.
Well, this is the day we've all been waiting for. The day when everything's done, she's actually moved in. This is really an incredibly happy day for me. It's kind of surprised me. It's kind of emotional. This is the kind of job where you feel the energy here. It's all positive. Even though everything that could go wrong has gone wrong on this job, it all has come together to this moment.
I'm happy with the way it turned out too. Everything worked out good from start to finish. I was a little skeptical from the start of it, but everything worked out good.
There have been a few AHIP clients that I have trouble letting go of, and I was just telling Penny, I'm going to have trouble passing by this project on my way into work because I want to come here and visit, hang out.
I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for my new home. I love it very much. And it is a big difference for me, because the old house I've lived in and out of since I was 9. So I had my daughter there, and she grew up there, and then we had to change over to a new one. So it's a big change for us, but I love all of y'all very much. And I really appreciate everything that y'all did, taking time out of, your schedules or away from your families or whatever to do my house. And I really love it. I thank you very much for it. I really do.
As a social worker, I know how much pain there is and how much danger there is in our communities for families, for children, for seniors. This job allows me to sleep better at night because we can fix things. We can make somebody's quality of life better. So yeah, I sleep better at night because of the work that AHIP does.
Thank you, AHIP.